Welcome to the DevWorm channel, and today we are going to be creating a full action RPG in which you will learn everything you need to know about how to master Godot, and I will teach you step by step how to create a full working game just like the one you see on screen right now. And there are many slimes that you can kill and just a bunch of different stuff that we're going to be going over with collisions and everything that you can think about. I'm going to be trying to fit into this series to teach you everything there is to know in Godot so you can go off and make your own game after you finish the series. But before we get started, I just want to ask if you could hit the subscribe button and leave a like on this video, as it helps YouTube push this series to more people so more inspiring game developers can learn to make their own games just like you are doing now. But let's get started with how to create an action RPG. Okay, so to start, we need to create a new project. So we'll go create a new project and we can name this anything. We'll just name it Action RPG 2022. So we'll create this and we will just create the game. Now we have a completely blank canvas, just brand new game. But before we get started, there is something that I need you to do, which is going to be to import all the art and all the different assets, and we're going to kind of organize the file system down here so we have everything. So first, let's create a folder for scripts, and let's create a new folder for scenes. So all the scenes will go here and all the scripts will go in here, and then we also have a folder which is linked in the description below, so go download that and it will give you a little folder. It's called art, and you just want to download it, drag it into the game just like this. Let me grab it real quick. So the folder is called art, and there's 3 different art pieces in the folder just like that. So if we should be able to drag this in. Oh, okay, so put it under scene for some reason. All right, yeah, okay, so just drag in this file here, so this folder is in the description, so just go and drag this in and you'll get a tile set, a player, and a slime. So just different frames for the slime animation, different frames for the player. And also we want to select all of these, then we want to go up to import, presets, 2D pixel, re-import, and now you should be completely good. So now we can get started with the tutorial. Okay, so to get started with our action RPG game, we are going to start off simple and create our game map. So yeah, episode 1 should be very easy because we have 0 code at all, which is always a good thing. So let's start by adding a 2D scene, and we can name this scene world. So this is going to be our main scene, which is going to have everything in it. But for the world, we want a tile map. So we will go and add a tile map. And in this tile map, this is going to be the very background. So we're going to have around 2 or 3 tile maps, maybe, yeah, probably 3 tile maps, background and foreground and middle ground, but we'll create the other tile maps in just a little bit. I just want to teach you guys how to use a tile map, and yeah, so this is how we use a tile map in Godot. You want to click on your tile map, and you obviously have a ton of different stuff over here, which most of this stuff is not really that important, especially for what we're doing. This is all more for advanced, but what is very important is the size. The size it depends on the art, but our art and everything that we have is 16 by 16, so 16 pixels across and 16 pixels tall. So we need this to be 16 by 16. Now I'll show you in just a second what happens if this is not, the same as your art, but it would only take up, like, let's say, so if it's 32 by 32, the art will only take up like this much of it. It will only take up a little corner. But now that we fixed up the size, now if you're using different art, make sure you know what type of art you're using, because if you're using 32 by 32 tiles, then you want this to be 32 and 32, right? But now we want to go up to our tile set, create a new tile set, click on the tile set button. It's gonna bring up this new window down here, and then there's like nothing you can do here, right? But if you go over to our art and we drag in our new forest tile set.png, you can drag that in right here and it will pull everything up. Click on it and you can zoom in if you need it. But so a tile set in Godot is like, it's used to make backgrounds use like, it makes patterns from different images. And I mean, you can draw with it, but it's kind of difficult to explain, so I'm just going to show you. But like, let's say we have, like, we'll just make this square. So if we click new single tile, we want to click this little button here, which is a snap option, and you can see it's way too big. Like, this is not a tile, right? This little square here should be 9 different tiles, so we can make big areas of dirt inside the grass, right? So we go up here to our inspector, we click snap options, and you want to change the step, which is the size of the snapping, to 16 by 16, right? Because that's what our art is, right? Same thing as when we were on making the cell for the background or the tile set. It's the same numbers are going to go here. But once you have this, you can click on any tiles. You can drag tiles to make bigger tiles, but we're going to keep it simple. Just click on the first tile up here in the left corner and new single tile. This one, 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 new single tile. All the way until we finish this square. Now, all of these, we're not going to use all of them, obviously. We're going to use a couple of them, which I'll tell you like which ones we're mainly going to be using. Like, we're for sure going to be using this one. We're going to be using this one, and we're going to be using this one for sure, for sure. Now, some of these we're probably going to also use, which I don't really see yet, but I know like we want a railroad. This is like the cave door, but I don't think we're going to put the cave door on the background because we need the wall before the cave door. And water, trees, the trees are not going to be on the background, but let me just show you guys how this works. So once we add all those new tiles, you can see all the tiles are right here, which I accidentally created a tree, but it's fine. We're not going to use the tree. So like, it's really hard to explain, but you see like this is the little part of the picture that's called a tile, and we just cut it out of the big image, right? So now you can draw these all side by side. It's not going to make the little square, right? Because you can make an auto tile. I just find auto tiles are very, very complicated, but there's going to be someone that says just create an auto tile. They're very complicated. I find them very complicated, so I just like to do this because it's a lot easier. Like, let's say you want to do this, and then this, you just draw. So like this is always going to draw this tile. If you click over here, it's always going to draw that tile, right? So you can, if you wanted to create, to say the square that we were talking about, you could do something like this, and obviously we don't have a centerpiece yet, or yeah we do. So then you fill that in and you have that little square. Now you use all the tiles to make a huge map, which that's what we're gonna do, but I'm gonna have to do that in time lapse because it's probably gonna take a little bit of time, right? So I don't really know exactly which ones we're gonna be using, but we'll just create some new tiles. Like this is a corner. Now keep in mind, you don't need one of each corner. A lot of people think that you do, or a lot of people do that, and it just really overcomplicates this. Like, let's say you went this way, then you want to turn up, just rotate it with these buttons up here, and then you can rotate. And you can have a corner every single way, right? I find that so much easier. So just do that instead of creating a different tile. For example, if we're in here, this and this are the exact same tile, just flipped. And this one. And that's it. But these three are no, and this one, all these are the same tile. You only need one because you can always rotate it, right? So you can always rotate it. And we'll take a railroad. This is going to be like the top. We can use that. All the stumps and trees and stuff we don't need at all, so don't even add those in. But let's say we're going to need the straightaway. We're going to need this little piece because this is like a path going this way, and then you can have a path cutting off. I don't really know what we need, but you know, you can always make your own map. But if you do want to copy the map exactly, just try and watch the time lapse and see how I do it. But that, you know, now we can, like, let's say we have a little square right here, right? Something like this. And then now we want a path coming out of it, right? So we have our path, right? But we can't, it doesn't look good, right? You can't, there's no way to make that look good. But when you use this piece, you have to rotate it twice. But if we use this piece, you see, you just got to put all the pieces together. It's like art. But yeah, so that's kind of how you use a tile set. But let's hit a little time lapse of making the entire background. You can copy it step by step if you would like. I recommend you do it so we can have the exact same game at the end, so you can learn all the different stuff and learn it step by step. But time lapse. So now that we have a background complete, I just want to give a huge shout out over to Red Dino Game Dev, because he is the one who created the forest asset, which we're going to be using for the cave and for the map. So big shout out over there to Red Dino Game Dev on itch. But the player and the enemy were both made by me, because I couldn't really find a good one. But I just love this tile set, so thank you, Red Dino Game, for having this amazing tile set. But let's get back to the tutorial. So now that we have our background, we want to go up here and we want to do the exact same thing. We are going to add another tile map, and this is going to be for middle ground. So we can name this middle ground. It's not how you spell at all, but middle ground. So now that we have middle ground, we got to go over here to cell, and we have to do the same stuff. So cell has to be 16 by 16, and create a new tile set. We're obviously going to use the exact same forest tile set PNG, and it looks like all the tiles are already set up, so that's good. But we go new single tile, and for this is going to be, it's going to be more of like, not the trees and the rocks and stuff, but it's going to be like this little grass stuff. So all the grass, you want all the grass here. You want the cave door. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's legit all you need. Okay, so that's all we need for this. So then I'm just gonna go scatter some grass and stuff around the map, and honestly, we don't have to go to a time lapse for this, right? The cave door is gonna go right there. Very simple. We can put some grass. I'm just gonna try and copy the map that I already have made. So we can just, we can go anywhere and just put some grass down, like some up here. We're gonna put like a stump or something there, but we don't really have a stump yet, so we can put some grass there. We can put some grass over here. We can put some grass over here, anywhere. Just like spread, you gotta spread all the grass around, so it's not like all clumped up together, but it's also, there's not too much of it, you know what I'm saying? So like, need some grass out here somewhere, so just right there. Other than that, that looks completely fine, and that's all you need for the middle ground. So I'm gonna say the middle ground is completed. And now if we go to our world, we can add another tile map, and we'll name this one foreground. But I want to point out one thing before we start the foreground, or we can just make this cell 16 by 16. But in a future episode, the foreground is going to have to change a lot, and I'll explain that. I'll explain why that's going to happen. But for the foreground, we can do new single tile. Look, so when you make a single tile, you can drag. So now this tile is going to take up 4 areas, right? Which it's not really a single tile, it's a big tile, but it is a single tile because it fits as one. And we can use all these trees just like so. And then you want these so you can keep going kind of like backwards. So these are single tiles as well. And then this is so we can make bigger trees. And we can take some stumps, the rocks, stuff like that. That's all we need for foreground. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff for foreground. Or it's not really, I mean, it's not a lot of stuff. It's just a bunch of different stuff you can do. So the trees, you would do the trees kind of like, all right, come on. All right, so we put the tree down, right? Normally you would use this here and it would work good, but okay, I see what we did. Okay. Delete the foreground. I see. I mean, you didn't have to delete it. You could just remove some tiles, but I find it easier just to completely restart. So 16. Let's rename this foreground. New tile map. 2 new tile sets. Boom. New tiles. We want just the trunk. So I'm just gonna use. This is a tile. That is a tile. This is a tile. That is a tile. This is a tile. That is a tile. Same here. So that's a tile. This is a tile. That's a tile. That's a tile. That's a tile. That's a tile. And then the stumps and the rocks and stuff like that. Okay, so like each one of these are different tiles. Like that's a different tile than this. So if we go over here, you'll kind of see how that works. So we'll place our stump or the bottom of our tree, and then we go and use these to go backwards, right? And when you get to the end, then you'll place. When you get to the end, you'll place this little the end cap to the tree. So that's what you'll do. And then we need smaller trees. We'll just scatter these around, and it's gonna make it harder, obviously, to like add these trees in now, because you gotta place 2 tiles instead of 1. But it also makes it easier to add some of the trees. Like I'll show you in a second. Like for like these trees, it's harder to add those in. But then when you have something like this, which let me show you. So we have a ton of trees right here. So we're gonna put. Oh no, we're not. We're just gonna use this here. That there, and then we don't want it to go back anymore. This we want it to go back. This we want it to stop. It kind of starts to get confusing a little bit, but we can. That's gonna be an ending. This is going to go like this. We need that like, or I mean, I guess we could do that. Just boom, and then ends, and then I mean, it looks like a forest, right? I think that looks like a forest. We'll put a stump up here above the cave. We'll make another tree like over here somewhere. So we'll make that tree. We'll put some trees down here in the area. We'll put a tree here. We'll put like a tree that's kind of like, you can't really see the trunk of it. We'll put some rocks. We'll put like a rock here. We'll put like a rock here. We'll add some more trees over here. So we'll throw a tree right here. And then back here, we'll put some big trees. So for big trees, we want, because we'll do 2 big trees. So we'll do it like that. And then we need a ton of trees back here, which is going to be kind of, I guess it's not really that hard, right? Just do this. We'll skip 3. We'll do this like 3 times that. And then for all these gaps, we'll just make it the greener tree. I guess like greener yellow tree. And then here we'll put like a ton of these, right? Or here, we'll just start from back down here. We'll put 1 tree there, 1 of these, 1 of those, and then 1, 1, 1, just all the way. Right? And then that's how you have trees. We'll throw one more tree in, right? One more tree. That looks good, right? And then that looks like, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on already. So it looks like a completed map already, and we haven't really done anything at all. And I mean, I'm trying to see, like, should we make the cave right now, or should we wait? Should we make the cave right now? I mean, this is already kind of a long episode just because making map takes a while, and I want you guys to copy this map exactly how it is. So you can kind of see all the squares now, but I think it's easier if you just follow the time lapse and slow down the video, because I think that would work much better. But yeah, we'll do a slow time lapse of creating the cave. So creating the cave is going to be the exact same as here. So it should be very, very easy, right? Should be very, very easy. But yeah, we'll just create the cave as well. So we can save our scene by Control and click S. Or Control S, and then it's going to come up world.tscn. We want to save this in the scenes folder, so we click on scenes. World.tscn is fine, so we'll save. And you can see it saves into our folder that we created for scenes, which works perfectly fine. And then to create a new scene, we want to go up here and click this little plus button. We want to click a 2D scene, and then we can call this the cave scene. And we need a tile map, and we'll name this, you know, whatever we want to call it. We'll just, I guess, background. And new tile set. The cells are 16 by 16 because we're going to be using the same stuff. So yeah, 16 by 16. And then the new tile set. We can drag in the art. And let's see. So the tiles we're going to be needing for this, we're going to need all these here. Right. Because these are kind of our... I mean, I guess you don't really need all of them. I just find it easier just to have this as a square, so you can see them. I guess you only need this one, and that one, but I find this easier. We're going to need all the walls here. We'll take one of these. We'll take the door. Oh, I messed that up, didn't I? We'll take the door. And because the door you need to drag down, so you have both of those. Oh, okay. Wait. Never mind. Completely forget that. The door is not going to go on this. We're going to have the door on the middle ground. So we don't want the door here. And then we can kind of copy all these. And yeah, we can draw it a full cave. So I'll draw it a cave and I'll be right back. So that completes the cave. We'll save the scene, so Control S, and that will save the scene. We want to save it into the scenes folder as well, so that's fine. But the cave we want to go, we will add another tile map, and this is gonna look like a complete waste, which it probably is, but middle ground. We're gonna create an entire tile map, right? Just for one thing. New tile set, boom, boom. New single tile, just take this tile down here. And new single tile. We have a single tile, we'll just place it right there. Now we have a cave door, right? So we haven't really got, I mean, we made a lot of progress this episode, obviously, but we haven't really done anything like crazy, because all we've done is create a map, which looks amazing. Game is already completed, right? Just kidding. I mean, it's not. There's a ton of stuff that we got to do. Like, yeah, I mean, we can't even play it. When we play the game, it's way up here. It's super small. So, but all this stuff is going to be getting fixed, and the game is going to look perfect very, very soon. So that is it for episode 1. But stay tuned for episode 2. for episode 2, and we're gonna be creating a full working player with like everything that you need, animations, sprinting, like I don't know, you name it, it's gonna be in the player. Maybe not everything, but it's gonna be a very, very good player with very, clean, advanced code. And yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching this series. If it does help you out and it does, help you learn Godot, then please subscribe and leave a like on this video, because it really does help me out, and I want this video to reach as many people as possible, so as many people can learn about Godot, so we can have some amazing games. But I'll see you in episode 2. Have a great and safe rest of your day.